In today's video, I'm testing makeup that's new to me and trying out some new techniques. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and Vanngo is one of my new favorite beauty gurus here on YouTube. He starts all of his makeup transformations with moisturizing the lips. I'm going to be using this e.l.f. Poreless Primer. He actually doesn't use a primer. He does do a lot of skincare though. I did hydrate my skin, and this primer is actually really hydrating as well. It's a poreless primer and it just feels like satin on your skin. So I'm going to be using some eyeshadow primer on my eyelids. It's just a Wet n Wild primer. I was actually putting this on the other day and accidentally put some on under my eyes, and that gave me the idea to try to just do that under my eyes to see how the concealer works. I want to see if the concealer will hold a little better without creasing. I'm trying some new makeup. It's Juvia's Place. Okay, it's new to me. It's obviously not new on the market, but I've never used it before. I know there's some controversy about this makeup in the beauty world. I just want to test it out because I've heard it's pretty good. I'm actually starting off with the concealer. I've been watching a lot of Scott Barnes's videos and people trying his technique with starting off with the brightening concealer underneath the foundation. And so I'm giving it a try. He also uses a brush like this when he is blending the concealer out, and he basically uses the concealer all up the sides of the nose. A lot of times when you're seeing highlight and contour, only the bridge and the top of the nose is highlighted, but he goes kind of all the way. So he takes the highlight all the way up the sides of the nose. I used a little bit more than I should have in retrospect, but I didn't know how far it was going to blend out. I'm using this Wet n Wild contour stick to add some dimension. I'm going to be blending it out with a Wet n Wild contour brush as well. Now, the thing about this look, it's definitely meant to be an editorial look. Scott Barnes is J.Lo's makeup artist, and he does this type of makeup for her when she's on the runway or doing a movie or photo shoot. And so the video I actually watched him do this technique on was on Tati's channel. She's another huge beauty guru here on YouTube. And a lot of people have tried this technique on their own, and it's really fun to watch people try to do it. And, some people just try to do it to a T. Other people just kind of take the technique and make it their own. But I'm using also a Juvia's Place foundation. This is the I Am Magic foundation. I'm using the color Martinique 550. Now, as soon as I started putting it on, I realized that this is a full coverage foundation, and it's going to pretty much cancel out all the highlighting work I just did with the concealer underneath. So in retrospect, I should have used a more sheer foundation or something that was more buildable, something that would let the highlight through a little better. But I ended up going over the highlight with a Wet n Wild highlight stick just to brighten up the areas that I thought should be a little bit brighter, just like right under the eyes and on my nose. But I'm just trying to make sure everything is blended out. Whether I use a brush or a beauty blender or a sponge to apply my makeup, I always end up using the fingers as well, just because I think the warmth of your hands just melts everything in much better. And so I just always do that. Next, I'm going to be doing my brows. I have pretty thick brows already, but I'm just going to be filling in some sparse spots. I'm using an Ofra eyebrow pencil, and I just kind of, I don't know, keep the same shape and just try to fill in, maybe elongate them a little more on the ends. And I'm just trying to go somewhat against the hair growth, just because Vanngo says that's supposed to kind of make it a little more full looking, give it a little more volume. And so I tried it out. I definitely like it. The Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder is what I'm using next. And I'm just trying to blur out any harsh lines that might be left from where I was contouring and highlighting. I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay over my, it's the bronzing powder over my contour. I really like the formula. I think the color could be just a little bit better, but I love the formula and I've almost used it all. So I'm gonna try to look for some more, maybe in a slightly different color, but I just really like it. I'm using a highlight stick from Trestique. It's a really subtle highlight, but I like the shade, and just when it catches the light, it's really pretty. I'm also using a blush stick from Trestique, and I'm just applying it straight from the stick and then rubbing it in, patting it in with my fingers. Just checking to make sure everything is looking good. The next thing I'm using is the Warrior palette by Juvia's Place. It's so beautiful with some really pretty shimmers and neutral colors, browns, golds. First, I'm going to start with some eyeliner. This is another Vanngo technique. He always starts with eyeliner, and he says it just adds depth, putting the eyeliner and then smudging it out. Sorry, I'm a little out of frame here, but I'm just going to be putting on the eyeliner, kind of smudging it, and then using this angled brush to put on the matte brown. It's called Mino, and I just, with one stroke, you could see how pigmented it is. I was really surprised and loving the shadow. But I'm just smudging it into where I applied the eyeliner, and then I'm going to take it up into the crease, and then I'm going to buff it out with a small blending brush that doesn't have any product on it. I didn't really use a transition color, but next I'm taking a fluffy blending brush and I'm going in with the color Kano. I don't know how to pronounce some of these names in here, this palette, but I'm just kind of going into the crease and a little above with this color, and I'm putting some under my eyes as well. I'm using the brush that I used with the darker brown Mino color without dipping it back in, but just kind of smudging whatever's left under my eyes. And then I'm taking another buffing brush with no product and just buffing out what I've put on already. Then I'm just kind of going back and adding a little more of the brown. I used the color Dahomey, I think, for this lid portion. Just added some shimmer. And then darkening up the outer corners with the Mino again. Just kind of blending it all together. I'm going to go just under the brow bone with the lighter color Moremi. I think that's how you say it. But next I'm just going in with the Master Chrome highlight just to add a little more highlight. I did put a little more brush. It was like a Neutrogena, kind of a blend between a bronzer and a blush, just to add a little darker color. I'm curling my lashes with this Tarte lash curler. It's supposed to be ergonomically correct and just help you, I don't know, add some cushion while you're curling your lashes. I'm gonna wear this Laura Geller mascara, and I was trying to decide if I needed lashes. I think false lashes would have taken the look to another level, but I liked it also with just my natural lashes and this mascara. So I just put 2 coats, and I put some on the top, a little bit on the bottom. When I put the mascara, I like to put more when I'm on the bottom lashes, I put more on the outer than I do the inner. I don't know why, but so then I'm just going to be lining my lips and using another Juvia's Place item. It's the lip gloss in the color Barely There, and I'm fanning it out. As you can see, this is another Scott Barnes technique. He likes to fan it out like you see I did there, just to kind of give the lips a fuller look. One thing I didn't do that he does is contour around the lips, because I feel like my lips are big enough. I don't need to make them look like they're sticking out more than they do. Maybe the top lip, I could do that, but for the most part, I just skipped that because I think I don't need it. But this is the finished look, and I slowed it down just so you could get a better idea of how everything came together. I really like how everything came out. I love the eyeshadow. I really want to try this again with the concealer over the foundation, because as I mentioned, the foundation is so full coverage, a lot of the brightening effect was lost. So I definitely will try it again with some different concealer and or foundation combination. But comment down below if you have tried this technique, if you're gonna try this technique. I really love how everything came out. I love the formula of all the makeup, and yeah, I think overall it was a successful look. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.